something quite interesting for us, those that want to play with toys like robots and
Yeah,
cool
so this is exactly what we try to do. We try to play with toys, and this is kind of project that started like enthusiastic project, and it's still this kind of just proof of concept, or what we can do else with SIP and with Kamailio and with the rest of the things.
Then I sign out myself and let you continue. Of course, James already jumping in with dangerous demo proposal, but take over the session. Looking forward to see it. Thanks.
Yeah, so I hope everyone sees my screen now.
Yeah.
Nice. I will start from the presentation. So I hope I will be able to show the demo itself, because of there is some problems. Our battery on our robot just died suddenly. So it died yesterday. We changed it, but it died again. But guys trying to figure out what's going on now, and hopefully we will be able to do this. So I will start. So my theme is Kamailio and SIP in robotics. So as I said before, we just couple of enthusiasts, and we are trying to do something interesting for ourselves, like it's our pet project. So the main idea was to kind of bring to community or to ourselves something which we will be able to share with the rest of people, and give possibility to easily connect their own robots to the network infrastructure and play with them remotely. So it's kind of a proxy, or let's say higher level of communicating with the rest of robots, and it's supposed to be some API which users can pick up and then connect to robots. So this work still in progress, but the main idea was like that. So, and I will start. So actually what we think we do something like that. And what actually we do, so this is our robot on the right side, and on the left side this is screen of what our robot produces, and also web page when you can control it. So this is how our project looks like. So let's look a little bit closer to our robot, and then we'll go to the infrastructure and where is Kamailio here, and why we use Kamailio, and why we use SIP. So a robot itself, it looks like really simple. So what it contains, it has manipulator, which connected to the Jetson Nano via Arduino, as I remember. Yeah, so this is this small embedded hardware. And also what we have here is a camera, and of course Roomba vacuum. It's the legs of our robot, so we use just vacuum and connected it via TTI. We able to send to this robot events, and it just reacts. So we can try to do something with manipulator, and also we can turn it different sides and drive it a little bit. So just play with this toy. So base of all the thing is a Jetson Nano. It's a server which has camera connected, Wi-Fi, and Linux on the board, and also robot software itself runs just here. So I mean client robot software. So for the connection between user client, which comes from the web, and from client to the robot, we use SIP. And why we use SIP here? Why we started to use SIP here? So it seems like a little bit overhead, which is true, but I will explain a little bit after. And yeah, first of all, it's a ready-to-go signaling standard, so we don't need to create our own events if it's even if it's like just small amount of events, right? Then there is a ready-to-go SIP UX for the web. It's a JSIP and SIP.js. We started from jsip.net, and then we thought to migrate to SIP.js for some reasons. But meanwhile, jsip.net works pretty good as a client. Then there are a bunch of UX implementations for the other languages. So we use Scala, and which easily imports Java bindings, and we use MJSIP as a client on our Robo side. So it's specifically for the SIP, and for the SDP, we wrote our own parser. And our Robo connects via TLS, while client connects via WebSockets. And also, what is why SIP? There are a lot of servers ready software around, so like Kamailio, actually. And also, it works properly with all required transport. So with TLS, with TCP, we need WebSockets. And all implementations are ready. So for us, it was really fast start, so easy start, I would say. And why it's Kamailio? So Kamailio, we know it's quite a lightweight server. It's router itself, like a messaging router. It already has implementation of registration. It implements location service, transport gateway, which is the most important thing for us, as we have different types of connections there. And it's easy customizable in case of having Cameo on board. And it gives this Cameo thing, it gives a really good thing. It's easy integration with third-party services. I will mention it a little bit later. And so how this works in theory, in a graphs. So we have client and we have robot. So client and a robot connecting to the registry service, which I mentioned a little bit later, and we'll tell about it a little bit more. And we'll also tell why we chosen to move registry separately from Kamailio. So client connects to the registry via gRPC, and robot connects to the registry via gRPC. So actually, robot first connects, and then client connects. And when client connects, it just requests, "Hey, I wanna connect to this particular robot." So it just sends a request, choosing that I want to connect to this particular robot, and then registry sends to Kamailio a specific HTTP request, which is possible to do on the Kamailio because Kamailio runs as well as HTTP server pretty well, and it's really easy to build HTTP API on Kamailio. So Kamailio receives this pair of user and robot with request to create. So and Kamailio stores this in a hash table with a specific deadline, like counted in seconds. So what it gives us some time to connect, to have a connection from user and from robot to Kamailio. So we don't use here subscriber table. We use our own implementation of subscribers. Because of it's paired, it has to be paired. Otherwise, we don't want to lose control from the robot. for the robot and don't want to give possibility to connect any random client to our robot. So yeah, afterwards, when Kamailio creates these users, it sends back replies to client and robot, which contains signaling address. So signaling address is a Kamailio, address of Kamailio where to connect, and then relay address is so for relay we use here Caturn. So it's a simple relay service. Yeah, so this message sends back to the client and to the Kamailio, which gives us possibility to have multiple signaling instances and able to choose what particular instance will be chosen for this particular session. Also, registry has inside set up for the client and for the robot. In case of buttons, they can use for manipulating this robot, etc. So after both of client and robot receives this message, so it starts a registration on a Kamailio, which with the usual register to so register here used just for annotate external address, so there is no authentication for this register because of user and robot IDs they generated from registry. They are quite unique, and yeah, so this connection makes possible connect this particular user only to this particular robot. Yeah, and afterwards starts session via invite. So client sends invite to robot answers. So I won't dive here deeper. And for manipulation of robot, we use info requests from user to robot to make some actions which contain just a JSON payload, which shows what's going on here, and which tells robot turn left, turn right, use manipulator, or something else. Yeah, so this in very simple abstraction how it works. So overall communication process here, like registry gives settings to client and robot, then SIP registration session, and then video relays from the robot to the client, and commands relays from the client to the robot via Kamailio signaling. So this about communication, pretty simple, nothing specifically hard. Yeah, so now I will go to the registry role. So why we abstracted it from the Kamailio, which probably will be questioned here. So because of actually this registry role can be easily integrated back to Kamailio without any problem, but in this small project, not all of people know Kamailio, for example, and it's easier for them to use different language. And Kamailio gives this possibility to abstract, to interact with other services on other level of abstraction, on higher level, let's say. And registry role here is it's abstract and protocol agnostic service, so we don't mind about the proto. It controls sessions over signaling API. So as I said before, Kamailio gives an API to this particular server, which I show a little bit later. It's pretty simple, just 2 commands, yeah. So it's a settings container for the client and robot as well. It's a user pair manager. So this particular service, this role, decides who will connect with who. It also uses timers, so we don't want to keep the session forever, and we want to interact the session and anytime we want. It's easily scalable. because of it's quite independent, so it's depends only from the database setup, right? And for the particular session, it depends from the timers, but it doesn't. It's not depends of the whole list of the servers, robots, sorry, or users, etc. Then it gives possibility other team to know thinking about SIP and how it works, because of here is I'm the only one probably person who knows SIP well, and other guys are just good developers. Not just the good developers, sorry, but they are good developers in terms of they don't know communication protocols and details. And however, this registry can be implemented as Kamailio built-in functionality. So there are no limitations to do the same thing in a Kamailio itself. Why Kamailio? What is Kamailio role here? Again, so this is SIP register, right? It's router, as I said before. It's a dialog state keeper. So keeper means SIP dialog state keeper. So it receives SIP messages, makes this interaction possible between user, and it implements a signaling API. So it has users create and users destroy. User destroy also interacts with session manager. And for example, if we call users destroy request for the live session, it will destroy a session between participants as well. So in the Kamailio itself, we use here dialog module, which actually keeps things about the session. And once users destroy code, it just sends by message to both participants. So Kamailio itself quite easy. I will show here just a little bit of lower code of configuration file. So if we go to the API, so it's pretty simple. There are just a couple of URLs, which then calls other methods like aus destroy and aus create. Yeah, and aus create, for example, just creates a user, puts it in a H table, and then destroy method just remove this and triggers dialog destroy function, which is inside is a JSON RPC request to dialog terminate dialog. So this is pretty simple. It's very simple. It's pretty easy to implement, and there is nothing super complicated. I would say it's the most complicated part here is specifically Robo for sure. Oh, sorry, wrong. Yeah, so this Robo for sure, and probably the one of the important question why SIP here. So there is kind of comparison between SIP and data channels, and for SIP here kind of some pros. So it allows in dialog messages, built-in events functionality, and this means at the same logical level for the dialog and manipulation requests. So we don't need separate channel for manipulating requests. We establish the dialog and we reuse this existing stream to manipulate our robot. Then libraries, some libraries doesn't have data channels implementation. For example, for the Scala, there is no for the WebRTC implementation, which can be binded to the Scala. There is no data channels for the GStreamer. Sorry, yeah, we use GStreamer on the board for the robot, and there is no data channel for now, so we can't use it. And also, SIP can be controlled via proxy. When data channels you can't control via proxy, so it is just raw messages was just sent between participants, so it's already let's say real-time data, right? And the cons for sure is way slower than data channel because of there's quite big overhead. And before the showing demo. I hope it will work because guys say it seems like it worked. Yeah, some kind of resume. So SIP is quite comfortable and easy to integrate management protocol for such systems. However, it's slower than other possible protocols, and also it's a little bit overkill if comparing usable features versus possibilities, right? Because we don't use here routing model, we don't use here extendable possibility to extend the protocol, right? We use some basic things like a request, URI, and contact headers to manage where to send. Of course, we use record, route, and route because we use proxy, but it's not like a big deal here. And Kamailio itself is quite enjoyable to use and easy to configure server. And embedded language such as Lua or Python or whatever we use here, Lua, as you see. As you saw, it gives quite huge benefit to write integrations with other services. So, for example, how we separated registry server and Kamailio as a just signaling service from each other, and spread work around. So I will try to show demo. Guys said it works. Let's see. Yeah. So this is our server. So we're trying to connect to it. Yeah, we're still trying. Yeah, connection failed. So let me try one more time here. If this time won't work, yeah, done. And let me try. Yeah, so there are a couple of engines. And so here is left. So this is camera built in on the robot. So we can try left. So yeah, so there are messages, comments which we send via info message. Right forward. Yeah, so it seems like robot doesn't respond because of battery. So I mean, not robot, but Roomba doesn't respond because of battery. Still, yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't work. However, we have pre-recorded video. I will just send it here and on the YouTube channel as well. And yeah, sorry, I wasn't able yet to manipulate it. It seems like it's unfortunately was broken. So yeah, that's it from me. Hope you enjoy it.
Definitely, yes. We enjoy it and look forward to play with it. You sent the link here in the channel. Let me push it first to the room.
I sent it to the channel. Yeah.
But also on the matrix. Okay, so my first question before looking around would be, do I have something like a library or a repository out there to look at?
Yeah, so repository now, it's a private, but I believe we're going to share it soon. There is no reason. So at least Kamailio code I indeed will share, and guys about I think about robot they also will share. We didn't discuss it yet, to be honest. Yeah, but there are no really huge secrets.
And then the next quick question: It's this for you mainly hobby, or it's also part of the work and other projects?
No. This is just a pet project. Yeah, so it's just a pet project. It's not a job. So I think I would be fired if I do the thing on a job.
Okay.
For that's quality.
It's a
But
pet,
yeah.
it's a pet that doesn't need to be fed up, right? Okay, so on the YouTube channel, a question: Can more clients control the robot at the same time?
No, this is one by one, but the most important thing what we wanted to do. Again, yeah, work still progress. So we already streaming video from the robots to the YouTube. We're able to stream it from the to the YouTube, sorry, and we wanted to do some like playing chat, so you can like donate for 5 minutes to manipulating robot and play with robot, and after this time gone, next someone who donated also can work with robot, not work but play with robot, and etc etc. So this was my idea of this project actually, yeah, like the first idea how to show this project to people.
And from Haidar Kamalov, can you comment, Robot Kamailio, wash the dishes and bring me some beer or vodka?
It's yeah, we can for sure, but it's a vacuum. It can just run around and clean. So this most
and bring beer.
Bring beer, yes, because of it has manipulator on the board, yes.
Okay, so seems you have the first customer.
Yeah.